What makes a good or a bad captain or leader?
Hmm. Good question. So I'll go with what makes a good leader. I want to believe that I was on my way to being one of those good leaders. For me, humility. Um, and this came about with during the years where I was seeing the link between relationships and being in a leadership position. And you saw where you had to be humble. You had to, um, again, sometimes all the time, pull yourself out of a situation to not, whether it be take things personally or think too highly of yourself, to give somebody an ear to see where they're coming from. Selfless, you have to be selfless as well because it's a team. Yeah, I normally tell my teammates that when we're going on tour, it's not about you, it's about the team. So for 3 weeks, I just want you to think about the team. So being selfless because you're asking and demanding that from your teammates. You also need to demonstrate that throughout. And that actually then ties into leading by example and consistency, right? You have to consistently lead by example because they're looking to you. You're asking things of them, so you need to, almost do it as well. And then there's that group of players that would always be looking for a slip up. So you have to lead by example and do it consistently and be consistent across the board, on the field, off the field, with youth players, with senior players, with your friends. It's a matter of just being consistent. So you have the humility, selflessness, leading by example, and being consistent. Along with that, I think we'd also have just a mutual respect. Yeah, that'll probably tie into humility, I'm guessing, where you respect your teammates, you respect what they have to say, their input. You also respect the coaches. Again, if the players are looking to you for that leadership, you need to, be respectful to the coaches, the managers. And then I think what would be the last thing? I think in terms of just relational stuff, just being social and being able to interact with all the team members, whether they are young, whether they are old or seasoned, I want to say experience, whether they have a A-type personality or B-type personality, whether they come from different backgrounds, just being able to connect with each player so that you're able to build a relationship again, which would assist when it's time for you to lead and go on a team. And with that social thing, I think also being genuine, because if you're not genuine and you're a fraud or you just not genuine all the time or across the board, they can easily see that, and that of course will just undermine your whole leadership skills and what you present to them.
All right, so let's get a bit more into the nitty gritty. Let's try and find some specific examples of how leader interacts with the other players and the team. Did you have to deal with any specific problems or specific issues with a player or teammates or a group within the team?
Yeah, like every tour was something different. But for the early part of my career, the one thing that I had to deal with was the individualism. Yeah, again, you're going on a tour with 16 players, sometimes even 18 players, females, different personalities, different backgrounds, different perspective. So you'd find that it's 18 individuals. Again, back then, how the national team went about is that even though we would try to get a team together for a year before, even 6 months before, it never really worked out. So the teams would only come together with 4 months to go for the tournament. So within that 4 months, you had to get strategy in. We had to get some team bonding, and you had to deal with different things on and off the field, from getting tickets, raising funds, etc. So that you never really had the time to bond and gel as a team. Since then, things have changed. You find that the teams are in training for at least a year, sometimes even a year and a half. There's a team psychologist as well that would be able to help you work through the situation. But back then, in 4 months, you end up on tour with a group of players being able to play hockey and representing. The one common goal would be to, because we're here representing Trinidad and Tobago. So with that, you'd find individuals not wanting to follow simple rules. So we have different colors. Our colors are red, white, and black. So we're going for breakfast. Everybody should be in red today. We're wearing red. You have players jumping out in a gray shirt. Now, why? Right? Is it because you're just trying to be difficult? Is it that you don't have a red shirt? So I will try to solve this in different ways by learning a red shirt, by doing different things. And you found that it was just almost repetitive. So this one particular situation, it was actually a really good friend of mine, which is one of the challenges I have with being a captain, managing the friends on the team, right? The close friends on the team, because you'd expect that they would help or even just follow suit. And so I spoke to her about it, and she, no, I just don't want to, and just walked off. So my thing is, oh my gosh, what's going to happen here? She's a senior player. Players are going to be looking at her. She doesn't have any correct color. What will happen? So I mean, I tried, I talked. My thing is, though, I don't want to get to the point where we're having a confrontation in front of the players. We ended up in the breakfast hall, and the coach pulled me aside. Why is this player not in uniform? Didn't you know I was like, coach, I tried, I spoke to her, I think he didn't want to hear it. That's your job as a captain. You get this done. Well, at the end of breakfast, I had a team talk right around the table, and without the usual diplomacy, I reeled into them. I was like, listen to me. I asked you guys for 2 weeks just to be involved as a team, right? Don't tell me this. Don't tell me you can't put on a jersey. You're just being selfish. I reiterated the whole point of why we are here, who we're representing. And of course, I let them know, listen, if you all don't listen, as a captain, it's difficult, right? I have the instructions from the coaches and I'm trying to balance it, but you all need to help. You all need to get on board and be a team. And so I think calling out the players in front of the team, again, reiterating what we are here for, the values of the team, what team stands for, I think got that player in line. It wasn't something that I like to do. I actually moved away from the usual style, which is to talk and to be nice and to deal with things at the side. But in that situation, I needed the group to hear. I needed to, I guess, put her out there to deal with the situation.